Jets win over the Commanders. How are we feeling about it, Matt?
I don't have a strong feeling either way. I feel like I'm in the minority there because there are people who are very, very upset that the Jets won. I can't put myself there. I'm not. I really don't have strong feelings. And then there are people like, well, like victory lapping the win. Like, I'm not quite there either. I'm kind of just like, I'm gonna let the chips fall wherever they fall over the next 2 weeks. They have 2 more games left. I thought the young players that you care about, Brees Hall, Jermaine Johnson, Garrett Wilson, they all played well. If they won the game 6-3, maybe I'm having a different conversation with myself and be like, well, that was just awful. And I get it. They blew a huge lead in the second half and had to have some crazy, last second field goal to win the game. But like, you guys are gonna have to forgive me on this one. Like, I can't really get like all worked up about draft positioning right now.
Green Bean, how you feeling?
Well, here's the thing. If you listen to our coach, Robert Saleh, he'd like to educate us. Okay. So this is interesting. It's an opportunity for learning, everybody, this week. The feelings aside, let's put our feelings aside and do what Robert Saleh is asking us to do as fans. Put ourselves in the perspective, in the position of a young player who's put his blood, sweat, and tears. What was the words he used? It's brilliant. All the work put together. Let's see, where is it? Oh, there it is. Blood, their entire lives, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the family time, the vacations. So imagine if, for just a second, if you put together you put aside vacations and family time and blood and sweat and tears for this team, then would it change your mind about wanting a better draft pick? I don't know, man. It's to me, let me just say this. I have certainly sweat for the New York Jets. I've sat in the crazy Miami heat or the August or September sun in Meadowlands. The blood, I have definitely shed blood for the Jets. I have fought my fair share of Buffalo, Miami fans at different stadium events. And family time, are you kidding me? Vacations, are you kidding? We've been doing this for 40 years, so I don't have any sympathy on that angle. I understand what Robert Saleh is trying to say, but I think you need to how about this, buddy? Instead of asking us to have your perspective, why don't you, for 10 seconds, put yourself in our shoes? We've been doing this for decade after decade after decade. You've been here for a total of 15 and a half minutes in our life. And you're asking us to settle down and consider it through your lens. I think that's a bunch of horse shit. Now, aside from that, I do understand how they can't be, you can't go on the field and like play half-ass, risk injury. I get all that stuff. But here's the thing. I actually am kind of closer to where Matt is on this. Not quite. I'm not like quite as indifferent, but I'm there too. It's like I wanted to watch a good football game. We did. The first half was probably the best first half of Jets football I've ever seen. Maybe it was like unbelievable. Fucking block punts and picks and all these things and touchdowns through the air and the ground. It was nuts. So it was really, really fun. And that would be fine if we just kept on and we kicked the hell out of them. But then it's like we pull the Jets move and we completely blow it. We, shit the bed, as they say. And it's like, okay, well, then that's fine. We got to watch some great football, and now we're just going to do the thing and lose out, and get the better draft pick. And then we win on some baloney late second thing where we didn't score a point the whole second half. It is aggravating. It's just aggravating to kind of have that up and down. But the truth is, it's like, if the team doesn't lose out this year, and clearly we're not, we have 2 more games. It would be nice to if we win 2 of the last 3, or let's say we win all the way and we get to 8 wins, that's still after all this baloney, we still have an improvement year. Could you imagine if all this and we still end up improving a game? So it's like, I don't know. I go back and forth. Clearly, I really wanted to be up there at pick 5. or 4 and kind of maybe even have an outside chance at like pick 3. That's fun to me at this time of year. But it's also, I get it, man. Like, the people that just want to see some damn wins, see some good football. I happen to be there too. So it's tough. It's really tough. I do kind of ride the center a little bit. That's aggravating a lot of people. They're not very happy with me doing that. But that's kind of where I am with it, man. It's frustrating, of course, but I can sign up for a Jets victory any day of the week.
So I am feeling the opposite. I'm cooled off. I'm not as, maybe hot as I was before. But I will say this. I was excited for the first half of Sunday's game. And I was like, we're going to kick the ever-living crap out of the Commanders. Great. Like, 60 points. Let's do it. Blow them out. Kick the doors down. And then we gave up a 20-point lead to a team that traded away 2 of their best defensive linemen, actively trying to tank, is the worst defense in all of professional football. And the Jets couldn't do anything in the second half. Like, to me, I don't expect players to tank. I don't expect coaches to tank. My frustration stems from the Jets, for whatever reason, just having the worst luck when it comes to what games they decide to win and lose. Because we don't show up for that division rival matchup that keeps our playoff hopes alive. We get shut out by a division rival. But we show up against this team that's a whole bunch of scrubs. That gets me mad. I'm frustrated with that. I blame it on coaching. I blame it on inconsistencies across the board. Am I happy Breece Hall went off? Yes. Am I happy Garrett Wilson went off? Yes. Did Jermaine Johnson look like a stud? Yes. Am I happy Brownlee got his first touchdown? Yes. All that, very cool, very neat, but it hurts a little bit more knowing that the Jets needed certain teams to win that would have elevated our draft pick more, and the Jets would have been sitting at the 4 pick with the Patriots having won a game as well, and it sets us up to potentially have the number 3 pick at the end of the season here. And I'm just frustrated because the last, we could go back 15 years total. Jets win the final game of the season against the Kansas City Chiefs in 2007. You know what that got us? Vernon Gholston instead of Matt Ryan. You know what happened in, San Francisco? They lose Jimmy Garoppolo for the year. A great playoff Super Bowl caliber team loses their star quarterback, and they fall into the number 2 overall pick because the Jets win a game late and they get Nick Bosa. We get Quinnen. I love Quinnen. No issues with Quinnen, other than the fact that we wound up having to lose Leo because we doubled down on a position that we already had locked down. That's the frustration part there. Then you have the Zach Wilson stuff where you wind up getting Zach Wilson instead of Trevor Lawrence. So I'm not actively rooting necessarily to tank or what the Jets have done. And people are saying like, oh, well, how many high draft picks have we had? We can have high draft picks, but it's not because we actually tanked. It's because we screwed up the tank and we didn't get the players that would have been the obvious picks. Trevor Lawrence over Zach, obvious pick. Nick Bosa over anyone else, that would have been the pick. Matt Ryan, at the time you needed a quarterback, would have been the pick over Vernon Gholston instead of trading for Brett Favre later in the summer. So there is some frustration from me as a Jet fan that we just can't get the things to break the right way for the Jets. And the Commanders losing the way they lost, it sucks because they played prevent defense. And there's nothing that I'm gaining positive from this. I already thought Garrett and Breece were studs. I don't have any better feelings about the offensive line. I don't have any better feelings about our coaching staff that blew a 20-point lead. I don't feel any better about our GM. To me, it's just a lot more I don't want to call it negative, but if you're telling me I could have had Nick Bosa and Trevor Lawrence on this team, plus 2 additional second-round picks, $75 million in additional cap space, plus have Elijah Moore probably on this team and made the playoffs last year, I'm sorry, I'll take the 2 losses that would have netted me that. Call me a bad fan all you want, but it is frustrating. And again, I don't blame the players. I don't blame the coaches. I just blame fate or whatever it is. It's just frustrating. We can't ever have the nice things. Frustrating. Matt, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I get that. And I'm not the person, I don't think anyone should tell a fan how to fan. If someone's rooting for a win, at this point, go for it, dude. If you're rooting for losses, okay, I also get it. Just for me personally, I can't put myself through those emotions right now. I don't know why. I just lost it for this year. I just kind of want to go into each of these games numb. And I enjoyed it, actually. I enjoyed what the Washington game was probably the game that I enjoyed the most.
Even
Since
blowing a 20-point lead to the worst defense in football, like the Houston game was far more like exciting to me.
I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was fun. That was the most entertaining game.
Oh, you're gonna get me red.
What? I
You thought it was fun blowing a 20-point.
If Joe Douglas is half as good as you claim that he is, he should be able to find someone if they're picking.